Before I get into this week's video, I just want to preface this by saying that there were a lot of mistakes in last week's video, and I just want to take the time now to correct them since I feel that I should correct all the mistakes I made just because I don't really like having all of that misinformation in my video. So one thing I was wrong about were the fact that I said that Michalis, Lloyd, and Navarre did not have re-releases of their Grand Hero battles. This is false, and what is true though is the fact that I think only Lloyd had an Infernal Grand Hero battle, whereas Navarre and Michalis did not see Infernal versions of their Grand Hero battles, so that's why I kind of got confused there. Another thing I was wrong about with Lloyd was the fact that his Regal Blade only works when the enemy has 100% HP, so it's more like a reverse Ragnarok instead of what I said in the other videos, so that was another thing I got wrong. It doesn't work when he has 100% HP, it only works when his opponent does, so it's a slightly better weapon, but still doesn't change my opinions. And one last thing, which was a nitpick, is the fact that I said, I think instead of close defense, which is really what I said in the video, is supposed to be close counter for Takumi's skill. That's just a minor nitpick. Someone even got mad at me in the comments for that, so I just want to fix that. We all know what I was referring to though, and that was it. Those were all the mistakes I made in the last video, and I'm sorry for making all those mistakes. I didn't really research. I thought my memory is a lot more sound than it actually was, so I apologize for that. But before I go into the next video, I just want to say, please, please, please do not take any of my comments in last videos like attacks on you if you did use any of the units I said. If you do use them, that's great for you. Those are all just my opinion. I'm going to re-preface this in the video. So, let's get into this week's top 5. What's up guys, it's your weapon of choice, the Omni Blade here with you guys, another Fire Emblem Heroes top 5. In this top 5, we are going to be covering my favorite Lance units in Fire Emblem Heroes. There are only 2 criteria for a unit to make it on this list. The first one is that I have to actually have the hero I am talking about in this video in my version or file or whatever you want to call it of Fire Emblem Heroes. And the second thing is, I have to like them. That is all there is to it. Sure, some things like personal experience, I guess when a unit was good at a different time and I liked them then, stuff like that is going to factor into this video, but for the most part, that's all it is. It's pretty cut and dry, simple, basic. I can't do any sort of analysis or make any really good judgment on a unit that I haven't played with just because I don't have them, so I don't really know what to say about those type of heroes. And then, if I like the hero, I'll talk about them in this video. That does not mean that if the hero does not make it onto this video, I do not like them. There are a bunch of heroes I considered for this list, and if they didn't make it on here, it's just a sad, unfortunate truth that they are not in my top 5, but they're still good heroes nonetheless. So if you see a hero that you think should be on this list, but isn't, don't take that as a personal attack. It's nothing, it's just my opinion, and if you think they should be in this list, then you can put that in the comment section down below, and let me know what your favorite Lance heroes in Fire Emblem Heroes are. Without any further delay, let us get into this week's top 5. So coming in at the number 5 spot in this week's top 5, we have the reason we cannot open Fire Emblem Heroes in public, Miss Little Sister herself, Serina. Serina was one of my favorite units when the game came out just because she's such a very competent, potent, usable, just simple. I just love how good Serina is. I don't really know how to really put it properly. She has very, very solid base stats across the board. She has 43 HP, 32 attack, which combined with her legendary weapon is magnificent, and 32 speed, which on its own, it's like, alright, that's fine, that's a decent speed, but since her default A-slot skill is just speed plus 3, which normally would be like, okay, that's a pretty trash skill, you'd say, it actually puts Serina in a pretty good speed tier at 35, which is one of the higher ones, makes her one of the faster Lance units in the game, which is pretty damn impressive, all things considered. And she has decent bulk with 29 defense, her res is a bit low, but 22 is not the worst thing ever. So all around, she's like a very good balanced unit, and the fact that she came out, just, this is given to you. Serina is just given to you for free whenever you just play the game, you get her, you use her, bam, you have this powerful unit, should you decide to make them 5 stars. And that's what I did. I made Serina my first 5-star unit, even before Male Robin, who I was considering for a very long time, and I did not regret it. She was very helpful to me. I think she was a bonus hero in the first Tempest Trials for like only 20%. I'm not 100% sure though, so I remember that being really nice for me. And Serina overall is just a really versatile unit. Her Fensalier, which I think is how you say her personal weapon, has threat and attack 2 built into it, and that is incredible utility. Couple that with the fact that she has fortified defense, which is a very decent C-slot skill, makes it so that she can make her allies much better tanks and just make them beefier overall, and I really like that aspect about her. I personally run just a generic Fury Swordbreaker build just because I think that it complements her nicely. She could use help doubling Swordmasters just because of the fact that sword units are very quick, and while she does have the speed, a bit of extra help goes a long way, especially with that nice Fury build, giving her even more bulk and offense. And that is why Serina is my 5th favorite Lance hero in Fire Emblem Heroes. Coming in at the number 4 spot in this week's top 5, we have the queen of fan service herself. She may not have won the voting gauntlet, but she has won many of our hearts, mine included. We have Summer Robin. Summer Robin is very similar to Serina in terms of stat build, but she does have a few things that kind of edge her over Serina for me. First off, Summer Robin has way less health compared to Serina. She has 35 hit points, which you might think is kind of low at first, but when you see how I run my Summer Robin, you see that I don't really care too much about the HP stat. I don't need that kind of bulk. If anything, I appreciate her just actual defensive bulk because she has basically the same defense as Serina. 28, 29, it's just 1 point difference. It really doesn't change that much in the grand scheme of things. But she has 29 res, which is absolutely absurd. Basically, all of Summer Robin's health that was basically translated from Serina is translated into res, which actually is kind of nice. It makes her a decent not green mage tech. A red mage tech, so she can just stand in the way of a bunch of red nukes like Lucina or Celica, for example, and she'll come out perfectly fine, and I really like that about Summer Robin. What really edges her over Serina, though, is her speed. She has 34 base speed, and that puts her at a crucial speed tier. While Serina needs her speed plus 3 A-slot skill in order to reach 35, Summer Robin, if you have a plus speed one, you are golden with 37 base speed. That is a beautiful, beautiful amount of speed to have on any unit, and she makes good use of it too. 32 attack is nothing to mess around with, especially with her Deft Harpoon, giving her even more buffs on top of that. It's wonderful. Personally, I run a Brave Lance set since I pulled a plus attack, minus speed Robin, and I was really salty about the fact that she was minus speed at first, but ultimately I just said, fuck it, let's give her a Brave Lance build, let's sacrifice the 20k feathers and a Donnie. I did so, I gave her Death Blow. I don't have another 20k feathers for Death Blow 3, but Death Blow 2 works just fine on her, and she wrecks shop with the Brave Lance, and I absolutely love it. Her bulk makes her a very good drag-back Brave Lance unit, and I really, really like that aspect about her. And the last thing I just want to mention is that she comes with Lance Valor. Any skill that makes it easier to train up other Lance unit is automatically a welcome addition to any person's heroes file. And that is why Summer Robin is my 4th favorite Lance unit in Fire Emblem Heroes. Also, thank you to Mayo for this glorious, glorious artwork they did for this game. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Keeping the trend of powerful female lance wielders going on strong in this list, we have Brave Lucina taking the number 3 spot. I honestly did not even consider Brave Lucina like as a unit overall before this list. I just had her sitting in my box, I got lucky and pulled her, and she just kind of sat there for me. I don't know why it never clicked in my head to just say, hey, it's a Brave Hero unit. You should train her up regardless of whether or not you have the time to do it. And so when I started considering units for this list, I did just that, and I realized Brave Lucina is a fantastic unit. I love this woman. Brave Lucina edges out over Serina and Female Robin because, first of all, her stats are supreme. Yes, she has bad res. She has only 19 res with neutral. I even have a minus res Lucina, so that puts her at, is it 16 or 15? Let me double check that right now. That puts her at 16, alright? That's pretty damn bad, but all of her other stats are beautiful. Her defense is 27, which is alright, but thanks to her personal lance, which I am not even going to attempt to pronounce, so don't even ask, gives her plus 3 defense, so that puts her at a nice 30 defense, which is pretty damn solid. Makes her bulkier than the other 2 units we've already talked about, but then she has even more offensive presence compared to them. She doesn't have as much HP as Serina, but she does still have 41 HP, which is nice, but what really, really makes her good is the fact that she has 34 attack. Combine that with her personal weapon, she's at 50 already. That is blowing my mind as it is. And she has 36 speed at neutral. This woman is a monster. She hits hard, goes in, and doubles so many damn units. But not only is she a good unit on her own, she supports other lance users as well. Or she supports any other allies that would work well with a lance unit. She supports sword units, she supports axe units, she supports dagger and bow units as well. She supports everyone that doesn't use a damn tome. And that's why I like Brave Lucina so much. She decentralizes the meta, which has been centered around mages. I can't speak. I can now though. And just, I love how she breaks down the trend of mages in Arena. You can now use more physical based teams, and they could be not Brave Lyn, and you'd still have a pretty successful team on your hands just because drive speed gives plus 3 speed, her lance gives her plus 3 speed on top of her +3 with her drive speed and +3 attack as well. So you are getting buffed on so many ends with Brave Lucina. +3 attack, +6 speed. It's wonderful. She's a wonderful unit, and that is why she is number 3 on today's top 5. Taking the runner-up spot in this top 5, we are breaking the trend of lance-wielding ladies, and we are bringing in probably the most prominent blue cavalry unit aside from Reinhardt, being Camus, the Sable Knight, the man that people have pleaded for his Grand Hero Battle to return. I know for a fact they didn't re-release his, and honestly, I can see why so many people demand him. Camus is a motherfucking beast of a unit. This man is balanced on so many ends, but has just so many positives going for him. He's got the 42 HP, so he's got bulk in terms of HP, 17 res, kinda low, but all of his other stats just highlight how damn good he is. 32 attack, 33 speed, and 31 defense. Just like the other lance units I've talked about, this man has the stats he needs. He's got everything you would want on a Horse Emblem team and more. My personal favorite set to run with him, it's a pretty generic one. It's the Fury Vantage set, but I think it works so well just because look at that damn speed stat. It's 33. That combined with Fury becomes 36. And that makes his attack, combined on top of his Gradivis, of course, makes it 51, and that's just beautiful. That's just like the decadent icing on top of a beautiful red velvet cake. And that's why I love Camus so much. He just functions so damn well on Horse Emblem teams. I know people say like Oscar's giving him a run for his money because he has a very strong offensive presence, but I personally prefer my defensive calves because that lets them sustain for a bit longer, and it's not like he can't hit hard either. This man comes in, doubles, wrecks, tanks, he does everything except for take a damn green mage hit. That man will get bopped by Nino like nobody's business. I just love his versatility with Horse Emblem, and the fact that Gradivis is just such a badass weapon with distant counter built into it, it's perfect. I don't need to say anything else. Camus is awesome, and that's why he is the number 2 on this week's top 5. Before we get to the number 1 spot in this top 5, I just want to name a few honorable mentions because there are just too many lance units for me to leave out honorable mentions that I like. The first unit I want to mention is Effie. Effie is an absolute powerhouse of a unit, and I love her just dominating offense alongside her just Deathblow, Wary Fighter. Brave Lance build with Effie is absolutely disgusting, and that is what I run, and it's glorious how powerful she is. The other unit I want to highlight is Hinoka. Hinoka, same deal as Effie. She's not really hard hitting, but she has just very good balance overall. I wish she was a bit faster, but overall she's still a solid unit. Brave Lance, hit and run, it just works so wonderfully with her. And the main reason I didn't put these two on the list is because I respect them more for their archetypes than I do their weapon types. I like them more as an armor unit and a flyer respectively than I do as lance units. They're still fantastic units nonetheless though. And that's just all I wanted to say before we get to the number 1 entry. And taking the number 1 spot in this top 5, it's gonna surprise everyone, I bet. Mostly because I think this unit is so underrated. We have Valter. Valter is my favorite lance unit in Fire Emblem Heroes just because of his sheer versatility. I know I said it's not just stats that matter, and I know it didn't really seem like that as I was just listing off stronger and stronger units. Valter is still a powerful unit though. He's got 42 HP, 32 attack, 31 speed, 34 defense. I love that bulk on him, and 19 res. So yeah, he's pretty similar to Camus in that he's basically a flying equivalent of Camus, except he doesn't have distant counter built into his lance. Curse Lance though is a phenomenal weapon. It's basically a killer weapon on steroids, and I love that. Valter can be run in so many different ways, and that's what I like about him. He comes with Panic Ploy. That's not a bad option. 42 HP is kind of low. At least with Panic Ploy users, you kind of want to put on someone with just absurd HP like Zephyr, for example. But you can run HP plus 5 and then an HP plus 3 Sacred Seal, and bam, you got 50 HP Valter, Panic Ploying everything, and it's glorious. You can just run a lot of builds on him. Darting Blow works well on him. You could run something like Fortress Defense to make him a super tank. You could run something like Close Defense just to give him more defensive presence with going all out offensive. Like I said with Camus, I run a very generic build. I run Fury Vantage, which some people don't really think is all that good, but I have proven these people wrong in my arena runs before, and I will gladly do it again. What I just love about Valter is his versatility. He can be run in so many different ways that are just equally effective. And that's just what I really like about this game. It just cements everything I love about Heroes, the different ways you can run units Walter just embodies that so well with his many unique builds. And that is why Walter is my favorite Lance unit in Fire Emblem Heroes. And that is going to be it for this week's top 5. I hope you guys enjoyed this list. Let me know what your guys' favorite Lance units are in the comment section down below. And if you didn't see a unit that you like I said, I probably don't have them, or maybe you just have some super unique build that can really make them shine in a way I haven't thought of at all. I'm going to do something different for next week's top 5, as I want you guys to pick what it's going to be. I am going to do either top 5 sword units or top 5 axe units in Fire Emblem Heroes, of course all in my opinion. And I want you guys to decide with the straw poll I'm going to put in the description of this video. So if you guys would check that out and vote for the top 5 you want to see next week, I would greatly appreciate that. With that all being said, guys, I'm going to get up out of here because this video has been long enough as it is. Peace.